Hello, everyone. Hello. This is your girl, The Rain Young. And I just decided to make this quick little video because I keep getting asked so many times recently here um, how to pass the real estate exams. And I passed from starting day one until the day I was holding my license in my hand. I got my license in like 3 weeks. And that's not typical. Let me make that clear. That is not typical at all. I guess I would say extraordinary. Anyway, no, I'm very driven, but I was gonna show y'all my license, but they up there on the wall. So, um, I just wanted to share a few tips that enabled me to get my license within 3 weeks. So first off, because I'm very driven and I like to go at my own pace. Doing a in-person class did not work for me because I didn't want to go at their pace. I like to go at my own pace. So I did, I went through realestateexpress.com where you can, and no, this video is not featured, but where you can do the initial class online at your own pace. I did that, I want to say within 24 hours. I was finished with that. And then I can't think of the price right now off the top of my head. I should have got the price before I started this video. I want to say it was like 144 if I'm not mistaken. However, that was about 3 or 4 years ago, but I have recommended several people to them, not, I mean, like here recently, and I believe they paid the same price I paid. So it's probably still that same amount. So I did that and I did it at my own pace. Now, with that, I'm gonna say you want to go through it, you want to take all the tests, but you want to go back and see what you got wrong. Um, because I'm gonna tell you that when you go through it, you want to do an overview of what you got wrong. But in that part of the journey, I'm gonna tell you don't stick too heavily to it if you know how to study. Okay, so breeze through that good enough to complete the course. Don't get hung up on what your grade was or is, although mine was an A. But I think it just stuff like that just comes natural for me. So just make sure you at least get the minimum score to pass. Now, this is the first tidbit. When you get to the end of that course, they're gonna send you a study guide. The study guide is what you want to study. Okay, that is what you want to study. Study that study. Let me see if I had a study guide in front of me. You want to study that study guide up, down, backwards, sideways, and turn it all around because don't tell nobody this, right? But the study guide is the test. Okay? Now, there you go, free game for the day. So if you go through realestateexpress.com, the study guide is the test. So because you're taking the course online, you're going to have to schedule a proctor test, which means that you can schedule it at like the library. So for me, I did my the final test for the class. I did that at the library, and they just they verify that you are who you are, and they put you in this little room on a computer and you take the test. Nobody is watching. Well, in my experience, nobody was watching me. The little room was behind a whole bunch of books, so nobody could even see me. There was no camera in the room because yes, I checked just out of curiosity, like really, this is what we're doing. So, um, so I just went in there and I took the test. I think I was done in like 10 minutes and I stressed myself out because I was like, oh my gosh, I want to pass this on the first try. I want to pass this. And it's like all these questions and stuff. But I passed it on the first try in like 10 minutes. And I did all of that in less than a week. And um, wait a minute. No. Was it? Yeah, it was. And so don't sweat it. And then once you pass that part, then that's when you can schedule to go sit for the board test, the way you take the national and the state part. Now, that's the part that's where you really want to study. That's the part where people really fail. And I've met some people where they've told me they've taken the test 11 times and they still can't pass it. And I'm just here to tell you it's because, honey, you don't know how to study. That's the problem. You don't know how to study. Okay, so one of the resources I want to recommend to you for that test. Now, everything I'm speaking about is for Georgia, because that's my experience. I can't speak to anything else. I can only speak to Georgia. Um, so the first resource I want to recommend when preparing for the national and state test is Prep Agent. Prep Agent is the bomb. I must say, it's the bomb. I listened to it in the car. I listened to it in the shower. I listened to it when I was going to sleep. You can do it from the computer. You can do it from the phone. You can do it from anywhere. There's flashcards on there. There's audio. There's video. So, whatever type of learner you are, there is something on there with the same information that is catered to you. I did it all. I did the audio, I did the visual, I did the flashcards. Okay, do it all. Frontwards, backwards, inside out, live, eat, sleep, and breathe it. I even made flashcards of it. I still have my flashcards. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see it. See, I still have my little flashcards. And I just studied frontwards, backwards, because you don't know how they're going to ask the question. So if they just put this on the paper, you have to know this part, right? But if they just put this part on the paper, you have to know this part, right? So that's another way how people don't know how to effectively study. Because a lot of people, they'll just study this part, and so when they get on the test, they're expecting to see this word and they just have to match this to it. But then when they get to the test and it's not like that, they're being presented with this and they can't match this to it because their mind didn't embed it that way. So when studying, you want to study it both ways. So no matter how it's presented to you, you can regurgitate it back. Acronyms. You want to, when it's a list of things that you need to know, you want to learn it in an acronym. You want to put it in a song. So one acronym I had to learn was PEAT. Okay. And PEAT, this is what PEAT stands for: police power, eminent domain, taxation, and the CCHE. I don't think I'm saying that word right. Never have said it right. But I know it when I see it on the test. Now, another tip I want to let you know, well, it's just some information, is that, honey, you will not really use pretty much any of this after you pass that test. None of this will you use. It's like going to school and learning psychological statistics for a psychology degree. I have never used it a day of my life since I got out of the class. However, you're just learning it long enough to pass the test, because you don't learn how to be a real estate agent until after you get your license. All that stuff that they make you learn on the test, I have no idea why they make you learn it, because you don't use it. Now, another gem that I want to share with you is this book. I can't even remember who shared this book with me, but baby, get this book. Get this book, okay? Don't be hard-headed. Get this book. This book and Prep Agent. Okay. Now I'm gonna say, so my book was the 6th edition. Guide to Passing the AMP Real Estate Exam, the 6th edition. Joyce Sterling. Let me see. Can y'all see that? Get this book. Look at me. Get this book. So you want to get this book. I'm trying to tell you, some of the questions that are in this book are actually on the test. Get all the points that you can get. I'm telling you, get this book. So when you get this book, yes, I actually read the book. You want to get the book, go through the chapters. So like unit 1 is agency relationships and contracts, right? Can y'all see that? Agency relationships and contracts. Read the book. If you can see, I like books, physical books. I do not like ebooks and things like that because I write in my books. I write, I highlight, I fold, I do all kind of stuff. I take notes in the book. I make notes about stuff that I have a question about, like right here, for example, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see it. However, that's just a question I wrote it reads, isn't this the same thing as an option? So that I know that that's something that I needed to go back and get some clarity on, or reread it to make sure that I understood it. So at the end of each section, let me find the end of the section. Yes, some of them alone. So at the end of the section, let me see. Is it showing? I hope y'all can see it. It's a unit review at the end of the section. And so take the test, and then at the back of the book, the answers are there. So when you take this, so what I did was I took the test. It's a unit review, it's a matching quiz. So when I took, here's the answers with the definitions and the breakdown on why that's the answer. So when I took the test, I would take the test, I would score the test, and then I would reread the unit, the parts that I got wrong, and I would keep taking the test until I passed it with a high B or better, without second guessing myself. And I did that for every single unit. I went through, I highlighted it, I underlined everything, and then the night before the test, well, starting the day before the test, all the way up to the night of the test, I went back through the book and I only read the things that I underlined or I highlighted. Okay, so you want to eliminate the fluff and highlight and underline the parts that are relevant. Okay, so that when you go back to do the review, you're only reading that stuff. And see, I'm visual and I'm also a hands-on person. So when I study, it helps me to like stare at what I'm reading, because when I go take the test, I can actually visualize the paper that I read it on, or how I drew it on the paper or something like that. And so I'm telling you, it's not as hard as you think it is. For me, the hardest part was math, because I am completely horrible at math. I can tell you how to make the money, count the money, and spend the money, but I can't do anything else with math. However, your girl passed that test on the first try. So just take these tips that I gave and good luck. I hope this video helped. Please like and subscribe for more information. Remember, I am the Rain Young, your one-stop shop with P&J Financial Solutions. Tell all your friends.